I was checking some synergy stats and I realized that Fred is ranked in the 14th percentile in terms of effectiveness against a zone defense, which is a poor rating as per synergy. So I looked at all the plays, and sure enough, he does struggle against the zone. And I also looked at plays where he did quite well against the zone, except that those were in an off-the-ball situation where he was used more as a shooter. So if you want to look at all the plays, check the link in the description of this video. You'll have it there. I've picked 4 plays where he's a creator and 4 plays where he's off the ball, and hopefully you can see why he's effective in the latter and not as effective in the former situation. Before I get to all that, make sure you do like the video and subscribe to this channel if you find this content useful. Enjoy. There are 2 basic ways you can beat a zone. There are many more, but the 2 main ones are with player movement, where you shift the zone defense around and find gaps in it, or through penetration, where if you have a speedy point guard, you can get to the rim and kind of break down the defense even though defenders are there. This is a good play which sort of illustrates where Fred's shortcomings are in these situations. So a couple of things to pay attention to. You have 10 seconds on the shot clock, so not a whole lot of time. Fred's driving lanes are being taken away because you have Iguodala right here, so he can't really drive right, especially because Iggy is kind of sagging there, so there's no momentum for Fred to kind of like drive past him. He can't really go left because there's a defender there as well. And I'm not sure he wants to go left because that would take him kind of away from everything. So what he does is, his first bad decision here is to actually just give it up to Davis, who doesn't really have a plan on kind of what to do with the play. So he dribbles it. Okay, and at this point, with 5 seconds on the clock, he gives it to Davis. Is that a great decision? I'll let you guys decide, because if you roll this, Davis isn't really in a position to shoot it. He's just running into defense as well. Fred probably at that point should have created something with the ball, but because of his lack of speed, he's unable to do that. Instead, Davis kind of gets scared and passes it back out to Fred. Now it's 2.4 seconds on the clock. And because of Fred's earlier decisions of not attacking the zone earlier, now he is stuck with this shot, and yeah, it's not a good outcome. So I'll roll this play, and you'll see Fred at the top of the key there, and he would love to drive here and use the screen, except that you notice that you have 2 defenders right here who are in the, I'd say, kind of 2-2 zone maybe. So 2 defenders waiting for Fred, protecting that area of the paint. And what Fred would ideally like to do, and what the kind of the play here is for Fred to drive like this and for Bembry to cut like this. You see this often where a point guard drives and a wing cuts. Norm does this a lot, and you end up getting a easy score. But because of the zone, because of the congestion there in the paint, as Fred tries to do that, like, first of all, Bembry will try to make that cut right here. Now Fred has to find him, but because of the length around him, the double team, he's between 3 defenders really there, right? So he's driving right into the defense, which makes any pass out of it much difficult. And as you roll it here, you'll notice he'll just dribble it off his foot because of the defensive pressure on him. On the previous play, we saw Boucher try to set a screen for Fred, and that didn't go anywhere. This time, it's a similar situation, and it's Aaron Baines who is going to set a screen for Fred. And usually Fred would love to just turn the screen and then get into the paint and find shooters and basically, you know, do the stuff that he's great at. Except when you roll this play here and he tries to go in, oops, look at that. He runs into 2 guys right there because Miami is in a zone which is basically establishing a wall, like a massive freaking wall right here, and Fred has to get through that. There is no clear path to the rim which he can get to and then maybe find a shooter here. None of that exists here. He's met with a wall, and as you roll this play a little further, he struggles with it, and guess what? There's a defender waiting. Because he was slowed down early in the play, the Miami defender here has more time to anticipate what Fred is about to do. And sure enough, Fred runs straight into him and throws up a bit of a wild shot, and Miami gets the rebound. I picked this play because it shows how a screen has very little impact in a zone, and since Fred relies so heavily on screens to give him that space, when those are taken away, what happens? And it is Siakam here, who you see at the bottom of the screen, who will come out and come all the way out here to set a zone, to set a screen, I should say, for Fred. And notice, because Miami is in a zone, the defender doesn't even get screened off. He just goes back to being in the zone, thus taking away Fred's driving lane. So let me pull this, let me play this up. So here comes Siakam setting the play. Screen, oh, nothing, we're in a zone, just, oh, look at this. So what happened here? Screen had no impact. Fred is now on the other side of the court, which is guarded by a separate defender in the zone. The shot clock is now down to 3, or 5, I should say, right there. And what are Fred's options at this point? He has to drive, but if he drives, you will see that there's a massive wall right here, which he has to go through. So 3 defenders waiting for him. His best bet probably at this point is probably to drive here and then kick it out to Norm. Because he can't get to the rim because of the 3 defenders there, or he could find Baines right here, but that's always a shifty proposition. So what does he do? He sort of settles for a jumper because he knows that even if he drives to this area of the court, Miami does not have to commit this man to guard him, so Norm probably will not be open. So as you roll this play, that's what happens. He realizes all this and just, settles for a jumper, which Miami is pretty comfortable with at this point. Now let's take a look when he's off the ball. Here he will hand it off to Siakam, and it's Siakam who will initiate the offense. And what Fred will do is he's just going to go and park in the corner. He's an excellent 3-point shooter, so he's going to make use of himself as a spot-up shooter instead of a creator. And let's see how that sort of works out. And Siakam right here, he attacks the zone. The zone collapses. You'll notice that 2 defenders sort of collapse on him. The 2 part of the 2-3 zone collapses on him, and there's an open outlet for Norm right here because the 3 defenders are sort of kind of deep here. Their wall is a little deeper, so the top area of the court is sort of clear, and Norm will get the ball. And the Raptors, as they are wont to do, will always be a good passing team, and Fred will catch the ball right at the bottom of the screen here. And he'll get a clean look. Now he misses the look, but that is a pretty clean look for Fred from the corner. At the start of this video, I talked about that you can beat a zone by moving guys, shifting the zone by having a lot of movement without the ball, so the zone shifts, and or through penetrating. This is a good example on how a shift in player movement shifts the zone and opens up a shot for Fred. So Fred in this play is right here, and what he's going to do is he's going to go and park himself in this corner of the court, and the zone will shift. You'll notice when OG will come and make a curve like this, like that, which will take this defender out and leave Fred open. So the shift by OG and the decision to play Fred off the ball creates this look for the Raptors. So let me roll it here. See, OG cuts right there, and Fred is wide open. Simple play. He misses it, but good play. I'm picking this play because I earlier mentioned how difficult it is for screens to be effective against a zone, but there are ways you can make screens more effective. In this situation, we'll see 2 of them actually. So first things first, the decision by the Raptors to have Lowry run the play against the Suns here instead of Fred. I think it's a good decision just because Lowry's a better ball handler. He penetrates a little bit better. Against a zone, it makes more sense to have him there. And Fred, as we saw earlier, is a pretty great spot-up shooter. So good decision by the Raptors. Now, keep your eyes on Siakam right here, who will take out Fred's man. And then keep your eye on Norm, who will take out the defender who needs to cover the area of the court where Fred is going, which is over here. So a lot is happening in this play. 2 screens being set, and Fred will get a clean look. And it's entirely due to him playing off the ball and the 2 great screens being set. So let me roll this one. Yeah, 2 screens being set. Wide open 3. Boom. Who's the most dangerous guy on an out-of-bounds play? It's the man taking it out of bounds. And in this case, that is Fred right there. And he's going to pass it to Norm right here. But keep your eye on Terrence Davis right here, who will set the liberating screen, which will set Fred free. And as I roll this, just keep your eye on that. So ball comes in right there. That's a fantastic screen, man. That they clears him out. The defender is almost caught by surprise a little bit. Look at the space around Fred. Look at this screen by Siakam as well. Double screening. Against a zone, it's not sufficient for one screen to get you open. You got to prevent multiple guys from defending the area of the court which they are responsible for. Here, the Raptors do a fantastic job of that and have Fred off the ball. It's a clean look and he gets fouled.